Hi, I'm Radiance. Usually you'll find me here, well, not here, you'll find me in the kitchen sharing delicious, creative, simplistic, foodie inspired recipes. And I still have that for you. But in this video, I'm actually going to share just some ideas to help you out. You can continue following this channel, subscribe, so I can actually show you these recipes. But I wanted to, help you out with some suggestions for no-bake vegan desserts. I love dessert. Dessert is one of my favorite things. I always leave room for dessert. I'm one of those people. And oftentimes I find that, like people who get into a plant-based, maybe healthier lifestyle sometimes get stumped when it comes to desserts. I know in the beginning I did, and I kind of was like, well, what can I do? I mean, Oreos are vegan. Yeah, they are. And there's other things that are vegan. But I wanted to like step outside the box and not just, have an Oreo, even though Oreos are good, right? So one thing I would suggest is maybe do a cheesecake. You can do a regular cheesecake, but if you want to get creative, maybe take the base, which could be like a graham cracker crust. You just take some graham crackers, make sure they're vegan, or you can just make them yourself. But if you don't want to go that far with it, get some vegan graham cracker crumbs if you can find them. And I wish you can look at the label. Most of them are vegan, but some of them aren't. And just crush it up, and get some vegan cream cheese and some whipped cream, whip it together, maybe add some layers of fruit, and there you go. You have a cheesecake in a jar. I would say that chia seeds are pretty good. I've made a basic chia seed pudding, but if you want to, take it up a notch, you can actually take chia seeds and make like a parfait. And you do the same thing. You make the chia seed pudding, and then you can layer it also in a jar, a parfait glass, or like a fancy glass if you want to do that, like a wine glass, or a flute, and just put some chia seeds in. Maybe you want to do like a vegan pudding, or just do some more fruit, right? You can alternate it with fruit pudding, and there you go. Top it with maybe some like toasted nuts or nut slivers, and you have a really good, chia seed pudding. Something else I would recommend is like a Bounty bar. I've seen recipes all over the net for vegan Bounty bars. I've never made one myself, but I have made a Snickers. And there's two versions of that. You can do like a Snickers ice cream bar, vegan style, or you can actually do a Snickers, which is a somewhat healthier version. And that's like, dark chocolate, which is vegan, and like a vegan caramel, which is pretty simple to make, and some peanuts and, some kind of like a nougat, or play with it, like play with some, like candy bar type things. I know for me, from my home, my family, because we're into fitness, we've done like little bites that almost look like cake bites, but they're like, almost like a protein bar in the bites. They're called Beast Bites. I'll show you those one day. And, they're just very simple, like peanut butter and some, good ingredients in them. We did make them with honey initially, but when we switched over, we used agave as a sweetener. So you can, do that. What else can you make? Trying to think. You can do like a fudge. I actually have a couple of fudge recipes that I featured recently, and you can do that. You can do like a vanilla fudge. You can do a peanut butter fudge. Like peanut butter fudge is pretty easy to make. And what else? Like a strawberry fudge. There's so many flavors. Something else you can actually make, and I made this recently, and I need to actually, one day I'll actually create the recipe and share it with you guys. But recently I was in the house, and I was telling my partner, I was like, I wanted something sweet, but I didn't know what to make. Although infamously, almost every week I make banana walnut muffins. But with that being said, I wasn't making that till the next day for a reason. And it was like a Friday night, and I really wanted something sweet, and I couldn't figure it out. And my partner's not a chocolate lover like I am. But I was told, well, it could be a blondie. And so I kind of went in my kitchen and I looked around, and I was like, oh, that's it. Basically butter and sugar and some flour and vanilla, and it was so easy. Now, the only thing about the blondie is that I kept putting it back in the oven because I didn't think it was baking. I believe, because that's my first time making it, I believe that what happened is that when you take it out, and which is what happened, it does set. So mine was a little, like stiffer on the edges than I wanted, but it was delicious. It was so delicious. My partner went back for 2 seconds and thirds, and I actually had it 2-3 times myself that one night. So yeah, do a vegan brownie or do a blondie. Like, that's an alternative, right? Or maybe do a mashup. Do a chocolate chip blondie or something like that. Which, true fact, my first ever dish I ever made was called a chocolate chip blondie. When I was a kid. It's like one of my, I still have the cookbook that was given to me as a kid from that. So yeah, maybe I'll make a vegan version of that. I think that would be good. I'll make a vegan version of that. And then maybe like a tiramisu. I feel like, things like tiramisu are traditional. You can make that vegan, and maybe something like a carrot cake, right? Make a vegan carrot cake. I actually made a carrot cake cheesecake for our family. I think it was this last holiday season, or no, it was the holiday season before that. And it was interesting. I will say that it wasn't as successful as I wanted to be, and that's something else I want to tell you. Sometimes we try things out. Don't be afraid to experiment. They don't work out. I've been baking and cooking for a very long time. I love it. I'm passionate about it. The kitchen is my favorite place to be. But I've had a lot of things that weren't as successful as I thought. I made whole cheesecakes, like whole cheesecakes. And they did not turn out the way that I expected them to. They didn't taste as good as I wanted them to. But I would say for every thing that I felt was a failure, didn't work out, I had maybe 10 other things that were successful, and I just kept going. And some things I just liked so much, I just kept making it until I perfected it. So that's something I would, admonish you to do in your journey of making like maybe a more plant-based or healthier dessert, or just a fun dessert. Because you know what? Healthy doesn't always necessarily mean that, it is what you think it is, right? I think healthy to me, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, healthy to me is homemade. Healthy to me is you coming from your heart space and, putting love into what you're making. That's healthy to me, right? Now, there may be some things health-wise your doctor may recommend you eat or not eat, and that's a different level of health. But I truly believe that it also starts with being mindful and knowing what we're eating. It starts with sometimes knowing what we're putting into it by cooking it ourselves, right? And preparing it ourselves with lots of love. So with that being said, I hope this video was helpful for you, to give you some ideas. Once again, some of these things I've mentioned, I will be sharing on this channel. If I haven't already, you will see these things come up as recipes. So for more, suggestions like this and more recipes, just subscribe to the channel. And if you've liked this video and it's helpful, please give it a thumbs up and like it. And also, come on over, click the link in my bio, join my free VIP group, where we share more insights like this and more recipes, and maybe some fun giveaways. All right, so thank you so much for joining me, and you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.